Hey everybody, it's time again for Corona Story Time. Today I'm going to be reading from Elvis Costello's memoir, Unfaithful Music and Disappearing Ink. And it's about a time he sang with Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney was at the microphone singing Ricky Nelson's Lonesome Town to an almost empty Royal Albert Hall. Many of the other performers on the bill were waiting to rehearse, but had melted away to the edges of the auditorium to give him some space. Neil Finn was talking to Johnny Marr, Sinead O'Connor was there with her son, and the MC for the night, Eddie Izzard, was looking over the running order with Chrissie Hynde. George Michael arrived quietly and was waiting patiently for his turn to sing. This was to be Paul's first public performance since the death of his wife Linda almost a year earlier in 1998. The occasion was here, there, and everywhere, a concert for Linda, a salute organized by her friends Chrissie and the television writer Carla Lane. Prior to the day of the show, it was by no means certain that Paul would do more than attend the event along with his family. Now it seemed he was ready to take the stage. I was sitting on a flight case out of sight when the familiar voice of Paul's personal assistant, John Hamill, said in my ear, "Why don't you go up and sing harmony with him?" I would never have presumed to do so, and it wasn't like John to make such a suggestion, but it was a kind thought, as there was an uncommon and understandable fragility to Paul's demeanor that day. Lonesome Town came from Run Devil Run. It was Paul's first recording after Linda's passing, mostly songs from the 1950s that they had each loved before they met. After the first run-through, John found a technical reason to speak to Paul. I saw them confer, and then suddenly Paul was nodding in agreement and beckoning me from the shadows. I didn't really know the song well, but the harmony line was pretty straightforward. Whatever the reason, Paul's next performance began to soar. I started to make my exit. Paul said, "Do you want to stay up for the next one and sing harmony?" "What is it?" I asked. "All My Lovin'. Do you know it?" Do I know it, I thought. I may have said, "Are you kidding?" Or maybe that was only in my head. Even without Paul changing a note of the music, there was something incredibly poignant about the opening lines of the song. "Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true." I locked onto the vocal harmony on the second time around, as I'd done 1,000 times before while singing along to the record. It never really occurred to me that learning to sing either vocal part on a Beatles record was any kind of musical education. I was just a kid singing along with the radio or in our front room. Not having any siblings or friends who sang, I assumed everyone could sing harmony. I didn't realize that being able to hear harmonic intervals was actually a gift for which you should be very grateful. Right now, I was feeling extremely glad that I'd spent all that time alone with our record player. The end of All My Loving was met by an echoey round of applause and cheering from the performers scattered around the edges of the auditorium, and we were ready to go. There were a lot of fine, heartfelt performances that night, but naturally Paul's entrance was greeted with the warmest ovation. My part in Lonesome Town may have been discreet, but I was proud to be up there as part of the band. Then Paul kicked off All My Lovin'. He got as far as the word eyes in the opening line, and the extraordinary increase in the volume from the audience at the recognition of a Beatles song caused my heart to race. If that was a tiny fraction of the fervor that they must have encountered nightly, then you could understand why they would eventually want to get off the stage. It was exhilarating and slightly frightening at the same time. At that very moment, someone backstage misread the cues, and Sinead O'Connor led a premature stage invasion of the entire cast, supposedly poised to join the closing choruses of Let It Be. The unexpected delicacy and emotion of the afternoon performance of All My Loving was all but swept away in the enthusiastic but uncoordinated caterwauling into any available microphone. We'll end it there. Thanks for listening.